Hi, this is Chris Rush from Off to Class, and today we're going to talk about how to teach the future continuous to your English students. Before you start teaching this tense, there are 3 tenses that serve as prerequisites that you need to make sure that your students are already comfortable using. First, you need to make sure that your student is comfortable with using the present continuous, which of course are actions that are in progress at the time of speaking. Second, you need to make sure that your student is comfortable with the past continuous or actions in progress at some time in the past. Third, you need to make sure that your students are comfortable with using the simple future with will. Once your student has those 3 tenses down, then you can start teaching them how to use the future continuous. It's not a difficult form to teach, but it can be challenging to use, especially in the real world. So that's why you want to make sure that they know those 3 prerequisite tenses first. When you teach this tense, it can be helpful to do a review of the present continuous with expressions like now, at the moment, this week, and others, and it can help to use a timeline. On that timeline, you can then progress to events that will take place at some point in the future, since this is how the future continuous is used. Mark the future events with start and finish times so that you can show the period when the event will be happening as a natural way to introduce the tense. Once you've introduced it, then show how it's used for predicting events. Start off by drilling the full form in every conjugation, and when students are comfortable, you can move to the contracted forms, which obviously will be very common. Once students have the form down, make sure you provide lots of practice sentences so that they can use the tense in a realistic context. When they can do that successfully, then give them question prompts that are less structured and allow them to use the language on their own. Once your student has mastered the basics of the form, you can start to make things more complex. For example, you can introduce the form will be happening. You can also add adverbs of probability, like obviously, certainly, probably, and the word still, which you should spend a little bit of time on since it functions differently than the other adverbs of probability. The final layer of complexity is to take everything that you've just done and then to do it in a negative form. And then, of course, you don't want to forget questions about how to use the future continuous in a question. So once you've done all those things, then you should review everything that you've done together and give your student plenty of opportunities for free practice. Now, even though this is easy to explain, it takes quite a bit of time to put all of this together for your student, and your student will need quite a bit of practice. All in all, to go over everything that I've discussed, it should take about 3 fully structured lessons of 45 minutes to an hour to make sure that your student has enough time to understand everything, gets enough practice, and has enough homework to do so that they don't forget. All in all, to put something like this together for your students will require a lot of lesson planning, a lot of material creation, and lots of examples for both in-class and homework. The alternative is to sign up for Off to Class, where all of that work is done for you, and you can stop spending your time on lesson planning, freeing you up to put your focus where it belongs, on your students. Sign up for your free trial on offtoclass.com. Click the circle to subscribe to make sure that you get all of our teacher training videos.